What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is CJ West. I'm here coming at you again with another video. And today I just wanted to talk about, holding yourself back from some of your aspirations and some of your motivations, because from personal experience, I've done that a lot in my life. There have been so many things that I've held myself back from just because of a mindset that I have, and not really just thinking about what I was going to get out of it, but always thinking about what other people thought of me. Um, Today, like my life today is a lot different than where it used to be. But still, with like a clean and sober mindset, I can still find myself like digressing into old behaviors and old ways of thinking. And I noticed that like I wasn't alone with these things. I noticed that my friends go through the same problems. It's not just me. A lot of people that I know go through the same kind of problems, and like it's just a weird way of thinking. And I don't know if it's like the norm in society, like the norm with society, but I know that social media and stuff like that has sculpted a lot of the ways that people think, and it's kind of fucked up to tell you the truth, because before I used drugs just so I didn't have to really feel, whether it was to go kick it with some homeboys or fucking go talk to a female. I always used drugs just to get myself out of myself, and cuz I didn't like the way that I thought. I didn't like where my thinking would always go. I don't know if it was like stuff that happened when I was younger, just from shit that went on in school and shit that people would say, or if it was just something that I don't know, like progressed over a period of time. So I'm going to give you a few tools that I use myself. One of them is to write down some of your ideas and some of the things that you want to do with your life. Take a look at them. See if it's a long-term goal or a short-term goal. See how much time it would take for you to, reach that goal. The second one would be to think of yourself a little bit better. And what I mean by that is to think of yourself in a more positive way. Don't really pay attention to what you think other people think about you. They did a survey like a few years back, and they asked people that were on their deathbed, if you could go back in time and you could change anything in your life, what would it be? More than 80% of them said that they would go back in time and wish they didn't care what people thought of them so much. By me taking that information, I applied that to my own life, and I try to practice that on a daily basis. But for me, being a human being, it's not always easy to be that way. I always pay attention to what I'm wearing, the fact that we have mirrors. Like, what am I looking at the mirror for? Am I looking at it for myself because I want to look good, or am I trying to dress myself up for somebody else? Like the type of clothes that I'm buying, am I buying them for myself because I want to look a certain way, or am I buying them for somebody else? Like for me, I'm always trying to match my insides, like the way that I feel, with my outside. People always ask me, oh, why do you have so many tattoos? It's because I feel a certain way on the inside. I want to put like how I feel on the inside on the outside for other people maybe to see, but not really. But this is just how I feel on the inside, if that makes any sense. So however you feel on the inside about yourself, whether it's negative or positive, you can always look at yourself in a better manner. For me, I practice exercises like I tell myself I love myself. I write down a gratitude list. I think of all the things that I'm grateful for, or I talk to another person and ask them what they're grateful for. And I tell them what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I don't have to rob anybody today. I'm grateful that I don't have to carry a pistol everywhere today. I'm grateful for the things that I have today, and I'm grateful for where I'm going with my life. I don't have to do the things that I used to do. Today, all I got to do is worry about not committing any crimes, paying attention to where my thinking is going and to where I'm at, and if I notice that my thinking is going into a certain way, why am I feeling that way? Am I acting on a feeling, or is my thinking going off a certain feeling, or am I just throwing my feelings onto other people? Do I feel fucked up so I want other people to feel fucked up, or am I taking my anger out on people because I feel angry? One of my favorite catchphrases or sayings is, do you carry a flamethrower? Me, I carry a flamethrower, and I always throw my blames on everybody. It's always their fault. Those are the ways that I used to feel. And today, I'm just grateful that, the things that I'm doing to better myself. And I know I can always be a better person. So whether it's doing something nice for somebody, and when you do stuff like that, don't tell other people about it. Whether I'm doing a selfless act or I'm doing something to make myself feel better, something productive and something healthy. Like for me, I can't just sit around all day, play video games, and do nothing. I always have to be doing something to work on myself. Whether it's my music, whether it's teaching myself how to code and program, or whether it's, reading or anything, just to keep my mind going. Because I know that I've wasted so much time in my past doing stupid stuff, going to parties, always getting in trouble. There's years that I'm not going to get back that I gave to the system, that I'm never going to get back. So today I want to make sure that I don't ever have to do that again. That's just one way to look at it. And if you never have been in a system before, or locked up, or you just never been homeless, or you never been addicted to drugs, that's okay, because you don't have to. I know that everybody feels a certain way, and that most likely everybody can do something to better themselves that way, no matter what your situation is. You're worth it. And that was one thing someone has always told me. You're worth it. And that was one thing that kept me always moving on. So another thing that I do is I try not to feed my head bullshit. And what I mean by that is I try to stay off social media. I don't kick it with people who are still committing crimes. Okay, so say something they're doing looks appealing to me. I'm going to start thinking that that's okay, and that way of life is okay. And I'm going to start doing stuff that they do, whether it's something small like start running red lights. That progresses into something bigger. You know what? It might not be right away, but over time, stuff like that happens. Those are just some things that I like to run back into my head. Why am I feeling a certain way, and how am I acting? I've been the number one person that has held myself back from a lot of stuff. I've always told myself certain times that I can't have something because of my situation. I went and bought something the other day off OfferUp in $1 million neighborhood, and I was looking at these houses, and I was saying to myself, why can't I have something like this? What makes me different from these people? And I was saying to myself, there's somebody sitting in one of these houses that hates himself, that is not happy with their situation. Because if you have that house and you put a person in it, it's just a person in the house with no, and you don't leave any furniture. What does that do for them? What would that do for me? It would do nothing, because it would just be an empty house with me in it. Okay, so I put a little bit of furniture in it. Still, what does that do for me? It's just a big house, me as a person with some furniture in this big ass house. It still doesn't do anything for me. So saying that, I can make myself happy in any situation, no matter what it was. And when I tell you I come from a place where I had nothing, and I started from nothing. I started from the bare minimum. I was homeless for fucking 8 years, dude. Built my life up, got 7 fucking felonies. I used to be a fucking armed robber, and look at me today. Like, I don't live that way anymore, because I know that I'm worth more than that. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, but thinking outside of the box is always better than being closed-minded and stuck and feeling like this is the only way to live. Like somebody said one time, oh, I have to sell drugs. You have to sell drugs? That don't make no fucking sense. Like, what makes you think you have to sell drugs? I'll make more money today at a job that I have ever made off any lick or anybody I had came up off of. And I said to myself when I got this job, why didn't I get a job a long time ago? Like, why didn't I get a fucking job a long time ago? Because it was just easy for me to mooch off people and take stuff that wasn't mine. Because I wasn't motivated, and I was surrounding myself by people that were doing similar things. So no matter what your situation is, I promise you can always make it better. No matter if you're white, black, yellow, a fucking purple people eater, you can always better your situation. And don't give me that bullshit, oh, that's because of where you came from, or that's because of the color of your skin. Fuck that shit, dude. Like, no matter what you fucking want in this life, you can get it. You're only as big as you're thinking. So if you keep thinking the same way over and over, you're gonna get what you always gotten. If you do what you always done, you're gonna get what you've always gotten. When I tell you I came from the fucking nothing, dude, I had nothing. I had 1 pair of clothes when I decided to change my life. I didn't have shit. I used to beg people for money at the end of the road. And I surround myself with people that are trying to progress in their life. They're not trying to degress. And like, I can tell from people that I'm around sometimes that really aren't living as right as they make themselves sound or whatever. But that's okay. you know, I still try to keep an open mind and still give people the benefit of the doubt, because I come from a place where people used to hate on each other, and I'm not trying to live that way anymore, man. No matter what it is, no matter what you want in this life, you can always do something better. Like with this little YouTube shit, for me, it was just starting off making music. I started making music when I was like 13, and then hit the streets and went to jail a bunch of times, and then just stopped making music. I still had the talent, but talent doesn't mean shit. The more work you put in, the better outcome you'll have getting what you want. And it might not always be what you want, but for me, it's been better than what I had, you know. So I just keep trying new things. I keep my mind open, but some people might suggest some bullshit. You gotta weed some of that stuff out, you know, for the more positive stuff. It's trying new things, man. Like this past 3 years of me being single were probably the best 3 years in my life, because I was able to find out who I really am. I get to save money. I get to like have more time for myself, find out what I like, find out who I really am on the inside. And plus I got a cat, and no female is worth more than the time that I spend with my cat, straight up. Like, just know your worth today. Know what you're really worth, know what you really want. And if you're in a situation where you feel like you can't get out of, ask somebody for help. That was one of the hardest things that I had to do, was just ask another person for help. The help is there if you want it, but you just gotta build the courage up to ask for it. You know, there are people out there that are willing to help you. There are places you can go. There's different kind of services where people are willing to take people off the streets, or whether you come from Park Place or Park Bench, there's always help out there for you. I hope this video helps you in your journey. I'm gonna keep making videos like this. If you like what I'm doing, you know, just support me. Like, subscribe, and keep watching more of my videos. So I appreciate all y'all. God bless.